Sergeant Lou Daigle receives a call about a naked guy walking into a restaurant and putting ice up his butt.
311 man is a man with no clothes on or exposing himself.
If the government really wanted to stop drugs from coming into California or into the United States, it could be stopped.
PCP?
Pretty bad.
The name Sherm comes from people dipping Sherman cigarettes into vials of PCP.
It bothers me to no end that so many young people are on Sherm now.
Hey, Shine was one of the worst drugs that I ever seen in my life. Saying somebody that used Shine, whoa.
Your mamas will call your daddies when they call my daddy, oppress him 1,000,000 times and color me, mama, we black or white, color him blind. Money won't eat money. I'll sue, bless you, or get up a zipper. Mama said, wash him hours later after he's
I've seen guys get butt naked and run down the street.
Butt naked and wallow in the dirt and the mud.
I seen a guy get asshole naked. I seen a guy get asshole naked in the rain and hump on the ground like he was with a woman off of PCP. That about a bitch.
church will pimp a whore backwards, sis or slapper.
Hey, brother.
Hold your asses, kids. Kids kill eggs on drugs, kids. Pop a firecracker, crackers. If you're Halloween,
We're gonna go ahead and pick you up and we're gonna put you on our gurney, okay?
Okay, we're gonna say journeys to grannies, Jeezy's easy.
All right.
Watch the please me, clean up
That
my
sounds
mama's
good.
whores.
So I'm gonna lift you up and put you on my gurney, all right? Just chill out.
Journeys with gods or devils with Jesus as your mama said titties gotta squeeze themselves. Excuse t-shirts, they won't walk. Mama, I'm scared to wash my back. I got beat too much.
He's in custody right now for certainly under the influence of PCP,
Right.
certainly for the vandalism. He's also probably for ADW against a police officer because he was throwing glass at the police officers. Once again, completely incoherent as drug-induced crime, really.
Right.
Sunny girls prayed for God. We'll walk them for 5 minutes. Ears and titties.
When we came in, his back was to us. He was reaching over for the ice. He was trying to cool himself off.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, he was here naked.
I heard he was putting ice down up his butt and
Yeah.
doing all kinds of stuff.
All
Really.
around him and just started throwing everything around.
No sane person will tell you that drugs like PCP or crystal meth should be made available to the public. But how do you stop things that people can cook up on their own?
People have learned that they can cook up drugs, and so they're experimenting now more. And I believe we will have a whole menu of new drugs, and these drugs will not be regulated because the government has driven drugs underground.
All right. Now, Kevin, the larger point I get from that is PCP is in the same class as the serotonin reuptake inhibitors, the Luvox, the Paxil, of course, the granddaddy of them all, Prozac. And see, what happens is that's why every shooter, when you hear about a woman cutting her baby's arms off, or a woman driving her kids in the lake, or a woman drowning 5 kids, they're always on it. Or cops drive up and a woman's on top of $1 million house cutting herself with butcher knives naked. Sometimes those drugs then trigger things like this, and it's now even on the inserts, suicide, violent outbreaks, psychotic breaks. So how is it an antidepressant if it admittedly on the insert, the first thing it says is causes depression?
I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, one of the purposes for me of showing that scene is that I'm wanting to just show the effects of, people need to be aware of the dangers of what's happening because of the drug war, and that is kids basically are making up their own drugs. People are creating their own drugs now by being cut off.
And they're really just poisons.
Yeah.
Well, I tell the young people, if you watch MTV, they'll quote the anti-drug on the surface, but really it's being glamorized.
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, why they promoted crack cocaine. I tell young people, don't use them. They're destructive. They're horrible. Go, the drug of sports, the drug of working out, the drug of, business, whatever. Don't get involved in drugs. But I don't tell them, oh, it's too cool. You're not old enough. That's the wild side. I tell them, no, it's bad. And Europe's done that to a great extent, and drug use has gone way down.
Yeah, they've deglamored. They've succeeded in making pot boring for one thing, and a lot of drugs boring. But one of the
like
points
you
in
said,
the
the
films,
pro-drug crowd gets mad at us and says, well, okay, you're not only against the drug war, but you don't like our drugs either.
Yeah, I mean, because like a lot of people have seen that scene and they go, well, I can't show this film to my dad because my dad's going to see that and go, look, you shouldn't do drugs. Well, you're right, you shouldn't do drugs like PCP or crystal meth. And one of the points I'm also trying to make with that scene we get in the film is just talking about prohibition.
Well, the point is you get some fool that takes something that totally scrambles their brain and changes brain chemistry for months. I mean, PCP's deadly. Why throw them in prison and pay for them? It doesn't deter them. They go to prison and learn how to get more drugs.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. Obviously, do you think that guy belongs in a hospital or does he belong in a jail? Well, he's going to wake up in a jail. He's going to wake up probably with a hell of a hangover and go, wow, what happened yesterday? And he's going to go out and do it again, obviously, and probably do it even worse. But the point I was trying to make is what Prohibition does. Prohibition drives things underground. Back in the 20s. Yeah, exactly. In the 20s, we had moonshine.
Triple alcohol deaths.
Yeah, I mean, look at what moonshine did. I mean, now, today, the modern-day moonshine is crystal meth, is PCP, or all these synthetic
But flesh that out because it went to dirty alcohol. When they made it illegal.
Yeah, because people are not going to stop. People are still going to do whatever they want. If people want to alter the way they feel, people have been altering the way they feel since the beginning of time. You can't stop them. And when you try to stop them by cutting off their supplies to certain things, then they're going to just switch to even worse things. So why not let people have like the naturally occurring drugs that grow naturally from the earth, and maybe they won't do as much crystal meth or PCP.
Well, take blue jays and mockingbirds. When a chinaberry tree has its berries and then they ripen, they have alcohol in them. And growing up in Dallas, there's some chinaberries down here, but I've watched birds eat them and get so drunk they fall on the ground.
And they'll probably do it over and over again.
Well, are we going to have police arresting blue jays?
They've shown monkeys in tests that will do cocaine over and over again. I mean, it just.
Well, expanding on that is A, the government ships in most illegal stuff. B, they're pushing pharmacological drugs that are even more dangerous on our kids in the schools and bragging about it. Their own memos have come out. It's about business. The drug companies compete to make the most addictive drugs.
And a side note about that scene, I've actually gone through. That scene has actually caused me quite a bit of trouble. Having to actually hire a law firm because of that scene. The LAPD has actually threatened me. I actually had a media relations head person from the LAPD call me up and tell me that if I left that scene in my film that I was going to be sorry. And basically they didn't say like legally or physically or whatever. They just told me that I'd be sorry and that I wasn't the first person who thought I could get away with something like this. And the reason why, because the scene gives away police procedure. That's why that they wanted that scene cut.
But it didn't make the cops look bad.
I know, that's what's so ridiculous about it.
Also, you got the ride along.
That's what's so ridiculous about it. It's just they want to control everything. Every time.
Well, they don't like your film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the hardest things in making this film has been dealing with the prisons. Having to get in to see Sheriff Joe Arpaio or Tommy Chong in a prison or all these things. It's as hard to get in as it is to get out of a prison. And basically, just getting in to see the police took months, massive paperwork, contracts. All this, and basically all these law enforcement agencies, prisons, everybody, they all have these media relations people whose job it is supposed to be to give the American public access to what's going on behind closed doors. Well, really what their jobs are is controlling what media gets to tell the stories, and they don't want people like us telling the stories. They want to just make sure that the major media is the only one who is allowed to have access to stories like that. So the only time you will see a scene like that will be on a show like Cops, where it's just presented in the thing of like dumb crazy person belongs in jail, and that's just the only kind of thinking they want. They don't want people to be able to present that kind of a scene with like another kind of conversation over it that would make you actually question why we're doing this or what effect.
And your film is not even anti-police. You're showing how the drug war gets all these cops killed. It corrupts them. A lot of cops are involved in taking money. I mean, it really shows how it's a big business.
I have a lot of police that are behind me. I just got through, I was with Sally Castilla in New Orleans just a couple of days ago. We were at a big drug policy conference that the shirt is from. where I had my entire audience, several hundred people in the audience were all retired narcotics officers, retired DEA agents, judges.